So the plan for tonight had been for Ruth Headley to share about teen services, but we are short-staffed tonight. So I have a presentation I will be sharing instead.
Thought I could find it easily, but I'm just gonna pull it up. For minutes.
Perfect. They don't need to be detailed, just capturing the big stuff.
So we're gonna move to the consent calendar, accepting May's board meeting minutes and the library news report for May.
Second.
And do we have any public comments?
We have no public comments tonight.
Moving on to our current library narratives.
Those were wonderful. I love the little kids
Me too.
saying, wow, wow.
Yes. Oh, very fun.
Great, so now moving on to our library foundation report. Sheree.
Do not have a library foundation report.
Okay, and then Corey, the library director's report. Library report.
All right, so library director's report. We've had a few things happen at the library this last month. So I think the first thing I'll tell you is summer reading started on June 1st, which has been really exciting. It's been going great. As you know, we have programs for kids, teens, and grown-ups. Let's see, we had our summer reading kickoff party last weekend. Of course, since we were having ice cream outside, it was a torrential downpour with hail. Julia, it was something else, I'll tell you. It was one of those downpours where you're an Oregonian, but it still feels apocalyptic. So staff put up some tents in the parking lot and served ice cream under the tents, and it all worked out. Today was Public Works Day, which is another one of our very big programs. It's been rather hot today. I think it's been about 90 today. So it was warmer than usual, but everybody seemed to have a good time. So probably the biggest thing to tell you about, which you know most of already, is that on June 5th, now I'm feeling like I'm maybe messing up my days. I believe it was June 5th. Yeah, it was a Wednesday. So June 5th, Wednesday, somebody shot a BB into the window that has our pride flag hanging in it here at the library. The original 1912 glass was not damaged. The pane, it's called a slip pane that they had just installed in January, was shattered. So I feel really, really grateful that we had that installed, because the glass shattering would have could have hurt somebody sitting at the table there. No one was sitting at the table at the time, though I will say there were people in that part of the library, in the Carnegie Library. Staff called police and called me right away, and the police officer responded right away. And Thursday, let's see, probably first thing on Thursday, I was in contact with the detectives who had notified me that they were working on the case. And the police department was great to work with. They were investigating it for a possible bias crime because of the window that was shot with the pride flag in it. I did also get a call from the Department of Justice to ask if we had any questions, if staff were doing okay, if they needed any kind of resources. So I appreciated them reaching out as well. On Wednesday night, the night of the crime, when I got here, before I left, I did send an email to the city manager, letting him know what had happened, and the human resources director as well, so we could make sure that we were getting our staff taken care of as soon as possible. So the city did bring in some counselors for people to talk to, which was I thought wonderful. And just to make sure people knew that they could talk about it and have a lot of resources available for staff as well. And let's see. There were elsewhere in the community, this person had been, the person who did the crime had been spotted, and somebody got a license plate number. So that was really helpful for the police, and they were able to track the person down with different cameras from around town. So that's also great. There's cameras practically everywhere now. So, which I don't know, part of me is like, do we always need to be watching? And then the other part of me is yes, because things like this, yeah, when things like this happen, it makes it so much easier to track down. So they did find that the person is a juvenile, and because of that, the name of the person won't be released. I did get notified from the district attorney's office that the person is well, let's see. That's skipping ahead a little bit. Let's go back to Friday, when we had a concerning post on our library concerning message on our library Facebook page from somebody talking as if they were the person who had done the crime and not showing any remorse at all. And so that was very concerning. So I immediately turned that over to the police department. And of course, because it was a minor, they couldn't tell me anything that was done with that. And what I said was, I'm not sure if this is the person. Looking at their profile, it seems likely. So if it is the person, could you please forward this on? So I did hear back from the district attorney's office later that they were using an assumed name, but it was the person. They took it very seriously and then arrested the individual who had at first been arrested and then released to his family. So he was arrested and taken into custody this time. And then at his hearing, and I won't be getting really details about anything much going forward because of it being a juvenile, and we did talk about the need for the person not to have contact with the library at all, and that includes social media, phone, in person, any of that kind of stuff. So they will not be having contact with the library. They don't live in the city of Newberg, so that's helpful too. And let's see, today I did get the estimate from Chosen Windows, who did the glass in the first place. So it looks like it's just barely under $5,000. So, which is actually pretty much what I expected. And since that's about our insurance deductible, we'll just be paying for this. So I am going to send out a push for fundraising, asking for help paying for the window. And I've had people reach out to me already about that. So, which also gives me a lot of hope too. So, so we're moving on. I also heard from them. So we're getting close to the end of our fiscal year. So at this point, we're not going to move forward until July 1st because we're closing out everything for the end of the fiscal year, which ends June 30th. So, so we'll start the process of getting that repair done starting July 1st. It is, I think, about a 5 to 6 week wait to get the windows actually in and then get it scheduled. So probably won't be until maybe mid to late August before the window is replaced. So as I said before, the pride flag will stay in the window until it does. The whole window is back to its former glory. But as some of you may know, in July, we usually put up the US flag in the window. So there's 2 windows. So the US flag will go in the other window. So we'll have both flags up for the month of July. And
For
any questions?
fundraising, will, like the newsletter, will receive it, we will also post it on social. for people to find
Definitely.
throughout the time.
So I just today found out all of the information about the estimate. And we've had Public Works Day and I've been on the desk most of the day. So nothing has happened
Yeah.
that way. But the first thing that will happen is it will go out in the e-newsletter.
Yep.
I will, of course, reach out to the friends because that's who the fundraising will go through. It will go on social media. It looks like we had a problem with a broken link
Mhm.
before, so I'll need to make sure that that's nice and clean before that goes out. That's what we'll do.
And you said that you had a hearing, but didn't want to speak to
Mhm.
that. Is
Oh, so we had a hearing, which I guess I could have gone to, but I chose not to. So at the hearing, he was, I believe, told that he needed to not have any kind of contact with us. We are asking for a restitution. So, when that happens or how long that takes to happen, I'm not sure. And, but we are seeking restitution. So,
So who is your attorney, the city attorneys, are they the ones that can handle all that? Or,
that would be, no, I think it would be just the district attorney.
oh,
Yeah.
that's kind of big.
Yeah, because it was, yeah, they're the office that contacted me as well. So,
and is that it for a sentence?
I know he has another hearing in maybe a month or so. So I don't know. I don't really know what the process is as far as that.
And because he's a juvenile, it's really very limited. To share, right?
Yes. Yeah. I think because he's a juvenile, there's not really much that we'll be
Nothing,
getting. Yeah.
Okay.
So I do have a letter that I can write. I got all of that information a few days ago. So, yeah, the DA's office has been great to work with. I've been really pleased with, how quickly everything was resolved. I think that was the best thing for our staff
Yeah.
too, to be able to know, like, person who did this is, being held accountable for the actions. I'll also say that the city manager and the mayor were extremely supportive of the library and all of this, which I was also very grateful for. The community in general has been really supportive too. We've received donuts and cookies and flowers and cookies and really sweet notes from people. So we felt really supportive too. And we have had some emails too, victim blaming and, things like that, which was not very surprising, but that's definitely not in the majority too of the response. So appreciate that.
I thought our city manager did a very good video response,
Yes.
concise, strong.
Yeah, I agree. And so the days following this, like on Thursday and Friday, was just such a whirlwind because we had news crews showing up and,
Mhm.
and how that works is they say, we're on our way. Or we've arrived. Can we talk to you? I actually had somebody from the News Register that had called and emailed me, and I just have not had time because we were off for Juneteenth yesterday and I was out sick on Tuesday. So so that has been a lot. And the first day too, I was really grateful for Will and the mayor stepping in. Of course, for the news, you hear like little blips, just the little sound bites that they pull out too. But I was very impressed with how strongly the mayor stood up to a bias crime as well. And so I wish that all had been aired instead of just like a little tiny snippet. So we feel really supported at the library.
He doesn't even live in the city.
Yeah, the person doesn't live in the city. Yeah. Which I also wish I could be more. I mean, that's, I guess, not a secret or anything. I just, like, this wasn't somebody from our community that did this. Not that there haven't been other things that have happened in our community for sure. But yeah, Yeah.
Thank you, Lori. Yeah.
Thank you.
We're gonna move on. There's none unfinished business, no unfinished business.
Oh, I did just want to say really quickly for the library friends report, the amount that they brought in this last month was $748.62. Sorry, that was very fast. $748.62. And yeah, that's it for friends.
No unfinished business. Moving on to new business. Ruth. Your presentation on team services.
Yes, so because we have a shortage of staff today, I'll be doing Ruth's presentation. And going to share my screen and hope that Julia can still see it.
I've got it.
Woohoo! All right, so teen services. So teen services at our library is 6th through 12th grades. This is a really big span. This is
It is.
when you're talking about maturity and growth and all of those things. This is a group of ages where kids change enormously from 6th to 12th grade. So Ruth has her work cut out for her. How's that? This is a picture of what I like to call baby Ruth. So Ruth grew up here in Newberg, and she used to come to my programs when she was a kid. This is our Lemony Snicket program, and I feel like I took this picture, but I might just be remembering that wrong. But she dressed up in all black with her hat on for this Lemony Snicket program. And then she grew up and went to George Fox University and then got her master's degree and is our teen and information services librarian. So she oversees not only teen services, but also the information services desk. And she's been here for about 10 years now.
She looks exactly.
I know, she really does. When I found this picture, it made me so happy because it's just so adorable.
It is.
All right, so part of teen services is the physical space. So it's important for teens to have a place of their own in the library. So a place that's welcoming to them, a place for their books, their materials. So one of the things about our space is the iconic hand chairs. If you've been upstairs, we have 2 big red hand chairs they're actually a little more comfortable than you would think. But they've been there. Kaylin Hahn picked those out for children or for teen services probably 15 years ago or so, maybe not quite that long, but it's been a long time. And they're certainly very popular. Ruth has different displays up in teen services that change every month. And those focus on, right now there's a Pride display up. Last month there was an Asian American Pacific Islander display up. She also has a lot of book lists that I thought I would pass around. So she pulled one of each book list that she has. She told me that the most popular teen book lists are teen Christian fiction, LGBTQIA plus teen books, and dark academia. Which I thought was awesome and hilarious. And I think,
Based on shelving, I'd say that's true.
right? Yes, Julia would know. So I just think it's great because it shows that our space is for the entire community. And I think Ruth does a good job of having what everybody wants. Ruth has also done passive programs. Passive programs are ones that people can interact with without having a staff person there. And I'll get to more of those as well. So this toolbar is kind of in the way here, but this is our passive programming. So these are some examples of ones that she has had in the teen area. We also have a teen intern every summer, or we have done for this is our third year with a teen intern. And the teen intern usually helps with the ideas for these, which I think is great too, because it really gets to what people are wanting. One of my favorites is the 1-star reviews. So she has what book do you think these 1-star reviews are about? And these 1-star reviews are pulled from Amazon. And I think they're really funny. I really enjoy reading them. Name the characters has also been a fun one. And I love her would you rathers. This one is, would you rather live in Narnia or live in Middle Earth?
Narnia.
Well, I feel Narnia too, but Katie, you said that's easy. Which one would you choose? Okay,
Yeah.
My husband would say Middle Earth, right?
yeah.
I put it all through, so I know exactly which ones I are, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
All right. And then there's outreach that Ruth does as well. So she's done outreach to Newberg High School, Catalyst, and the elementary schools just in the past maybe 6 weeks or so. She goes to the high school
Good evening. The library.
several times.
About 30 minutes.
Sorry, there's a
We invite
message
you to sign
playing
up for a
here.
Library card today. Please fill out an application at the circulation desk in the next 15 minutes. Thank you.
Julia, you had to miss Katie jumping this time.
Yeah, but I heard Dylan, so that's good.
Yeah, there you go. One of the fun things that Ruth and Bobby went with her this last time to Newberg High School, we have this great little spinny wheel, and they took the spinny wheel to the high school at lunchtime and people had a lot of fun with it. So that was great. With Catalyst, this was a really fun one too, because Catalyst is the alternative high school here in Newberg. And one of the teachers from Catalyst had reached out to me and asked about funding for some senior gift bags, something to make, it's something to make it special for the graduating seniors. And so working with our Chehalem Valley Rotary Club, we were able to donate funds to them. And then the teacher worked with Ruth to find books that would be a good fit for each of the students. So it was a very curated and intentional gift, which I just thought was amazing and beautiful. One of the other things is that sometimes teachers will reach out to Ruth. This particular teacher, Miss Abbott, reached out to Ruth and said, look, I have this student and she really only likes Kim Kardashian and Lady Gaga, and none of the books that I pick out for her she likes. And Ruth said, I think I've got an idea. And so she got the book, and the student wasn't going to be able to finish it before the end of school. So she actually came into the library and got a library card so she could check out the book. So I thought that was just fantastic. We also do have something that we've set up just in this last year where I volunteer at the high school on a Monday. So this worked out really well. So if the high school wants to put books on hold, specifically the library, if they want to put books on hold, maybe there's books they can't find for their students, so they can put books on hold at the library. Same thing with Catalyst. And then on Mondays, I go and I drop off the books and pick up anything that's ready to be returned. So we didn't start with the high school much this year, but Catalyst was a regular weekly thing. And Catalyst is just right on my way, you drive past it. So that worked really well. There were, 1 to 5 books every week for me to drop off, and I think the teacher mostly brought in the books because she's a regular library patron as well. So I think she returned the books on her own, but that worked out really well.
Probably really opening up the eyes of a lot of high school age students to reading.
Well, the other part for Catalyst is that they don't have their own library there. So, I mean, their library is the Newberg High School library, which is obvious, it's not even in the same building. It's quite removed. And so we really felt like, well, first of all, we wanted to work with the schools and especially the high school librarian. They've got a great school librarian. She's just fantastic. So we wanted to be able to work with them because we can't replace them, but to find ways that we can lean in and offer some outreach services to them. So,
Win-win.
yeah. These are some of the year-round programming that Ruth offers the teen area. The Young Teen Thursdays for 6th to 8th graders has just started. I think this is maybe the 3rd month that this has been going on. It's extreme. It's been extremely popular. It's great. So these are students who are too young to volunteer on their own. And so there's a specific time for them to come in and we have specific projects that we need help with. And so they can also get volunteer hours this way. Some of them are needing that for, different projects that they're working on. So this has just been a win-win for everybody. So Ruth and Amanda kind of take turns supervising that as well, and that's worked out great. Dungeons and Dragons Club happens on the 2nd and 4th Friday of every month. This has gotten so popular that we now have a couple of additional dungeon masters. So basically we're having too many people. We're just having too many people. And so we're able to bring in more people to run different campaigns. And we got to spread that out a little bit more.
Exactly. Is it a video based?
Oh, no, it's a role-playing, it's a tabletop role-playing game. Is that how you would describe it? Yeah.
You have a character that you like make up for yourself. And you have like all these different attributes or characteristics of said made up fictional character. And then the dungeon master is the person who like sets up the story and decides how like where people have to go and have to do. And then I don't know, I don't play it, but I have friends who do because I'm nerds. So in a good way, I love nerds. But yeah, basically you just role play the character you make up for yourself. So
I see why it would be very appealing. Maybe.
Yeah, well, it's really appealing to all ages. Yeah, I know a lot of grown-ups that play too. Crafts and Conversations is happening right now upstairs. It's a great time for students to bring crafts that they're working on, or Ruth always has some kind of craft for them to create as well. So that happens upstairs in the teen area. We kind of do a mix of having programs in the meeting room as well as in the teen space. It's helpful for them to really get to know the space upstairs and take ownership of it as well, because we want to make sure that they're feeling comfortable there. We also have a graphic novel book club for 6th to 8th graders that's recently started. That's been it's been well attended. It's going well too. And then Silent Book Club, which is just an introvert's dream. So students just bring their own book to read, or they can grab one of ours. We have a few around here. And everybody just sits silently in the room for about 45 minutes reading their own thing. And in the last 15 minutes, if they want to share what they're reading, they can. And if they don't want to, then that's fine too. So
Oh, there's something for everyone.
truly.
Mhm.
How many hours a week? 80 hours a week you staff work?
Right. It is a lot. Yeah. And we do have other people who help out with some pieces of this. Dylan in Circulation runs the Dungeons and Dragons Club. So that's been great too. And then these are seasonal and one-off programs. So Ruth is doing a hula hoop making, which I think
Oh, that
like
sounds great.
so much fun. Bobby's helping with that one. It's a drop-in between 2 and 4 PM. There's a Rubik's Cube one that Dylan is also running. And we have some like seriously good, I don't know what you call them, Rubik's Cubers
Yeah.
in town, and that's really fun to see too.
They go like super fast.
Yes. I mean,
seen that.
so fast, it's just mind-boggling to me. We had the Percy Jackson after hours party. This one was teen services and children's services work together on this one. There is another Percy Jackson book coming out in September again. So we're going to have another big party. We're excited about that. Kids Craft Sale is also a joint project between teen services and children's services. And that is the first Saturday in every December. We have so many student crafters who sign up that students have to be kindergarten through 12th grade. So there's a huge range of what's offered as well. Just one of my favorite events that we do here at the library. And that one's been going on for, I think we're probably getting close to 30 years on that one because that started before I came in. So yeah.
Is that held here or at?
Mhm. Yeah, it's held here. So they've started offering 2 sessions, 10:30 to 12:30 and 1:30 to 3:30. And that way we can get more crafters in as well. So that's worked out
Very
well.
cool.
Yeah. Yes, it's
It's
very full.
cool. Craft sale.
Yes, it is. And it's been fun to see how things have changed over the years too. And now most crafters will like have a Venmo QR code out there too, in case you want to pay by Venmo. And that's been really great because, if you've got cash and you run out of cash, or if there's some bigger items to purchase, and some of the items are extremely well done, and I hardly ever think something isn't priced well. I feel like when things are priced a little higher, there you can see the workmanship in it as well. So that's a delight. And then the last thing really is just the relationships that Ruth is able to build with the teens. She has a readers advisory group, and that group of people will help decide which programs teens want. She's great about listening to what patrons are requesting. So when teens are asking about certain kinds of programming, those are things that she really tries to make happen. And then word of mouth advertising is, as you can imagine, it's really a big deal in teen programs. And you have most teens who will want to show up with a friend of theirs.
Mhm.
So this is an age group more than any other where they're bringing someone along with them as well. And that is the end. Any questions for me?
I just applaud yourself and the staff, and it's really impressive.
Well, I will say, I don't need to be applauded, but my staff are certainly remarkable. They just do a really fantastic job serving all ages of people.
She's so creative.
Yeah,
Everything is just, yeah, really fun and creative.
it really
Cool.
is. I know. If she has leftover hula hoop supplies,
Yeah.
I really feel like that should be part of our staff meeting.
No, our board meeting in
Board
September,
meeting.
because I'll be back then.
That sounds good, Julia.
Oh my goodness, so great. So great.
Next after this on our agenda says update on damage to the library.
Oh, I just wrapped that into the director's report. I forgot I was going to do those separately. Sorry about that.
And then moving on to a library board statement, and that's from me. Can we go ahead and jump in?
Sure.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a clear statement just in regards to the BB gun that was fired out the window where the pride flag hung, that the board is in support, echoes the statements and the sentiments of our city leadership. Already what Corey has said from our city mayor, Bill Rossacker, and our city manager, Will Worthy, that it was an attack on our library, and as a board member and a community of this member, it is really sad and troubling that something like this would occur. I do applaud, just like Gloria said, our city mayor and our city manager for making very clear statements. And the library is the front porch of our community, and that the act was against the library. And just to quote our mayor, he said that the library exists to protect our First Amendment, to express our opinions without the fear of retribution. And not only that, this is a place of work, it's a place of work. The employees here rely on it for their livelihood, and they deserve to feel safe. And yeah, I also am impressed that the police acted diligently and swiftly to find and apprehend a suspect. And lastly, I want to recognize Corey for continuing to lead with the utmost professionalism and strength and compassion. So thank you, Corey.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Wholeheartedly agree.
Thank you.
And moving on to the timeline for our.
For interviews, so I will miss the September meeting, so I wanted to make sure, and we're not meeting in July or August, so I thought maybe we should talk about what that looks like. So I can basically set up anything we need to have set up in September. So we know where we are on that. So Suzanne Minahan, your position will be coming to a close. My goodness. It has been a long time. Thank you for all of your service.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you. So your position, there will be people
Good
applying.
evening. The library will be closing in about.
My battery is running
If you
low.
still have items
Hold
to check
on.
out, or you wish to make a payment today, please do so now. Thank you.
Can we get it?
It was plugged in, but the power strip was not turned on. So that's not good. All right. So Suzanne Minahan's position, and then Katie, next year, will you be a senior?
Yes.
Okay. So Katie's term will then be ending in December as well. Because then the next term goes January through December, which means you would likely not be around. So I love having students on the library board. I think it is hard to say goodbye after such a short period of time, though, because we have really loved having you on the library board as well. So thank you for that. So we will have 2 positions to do interviews with. If you want to stick with the same questions as last time, I can send those out for the September meeting as well, so you guys can talk about that and see if there's anything you want to possibly change or not. I think maybe doing, let's see, probably doing the interviews in October like you did before would still be a good idea, because that gives you some time just to make sure everything's in place before the December meeting, when the mayor will appoint your recommendation to the library advisory board. So does that all sound good with all of you? Okay.
And then come January, it's their first meeting.
And then January is their first meeting, right? So then, let's see. Yes. Trying to remember if I know it's in December that the appointments are made. I don't know if there's anything else that happens the first meeting in January, but I guess it doesn't matter anyway, because our meeting is after the city council meeting. So for September, I'll make sure I send interview questions. And Bobby Hernandez will be the library representative at that meeting. So if there's any changes to those, she'll be able to make those. And then we'll send out information through the library e-newsletter and social media saying that we're asking for people. Katie, if there are people that you know that you think would be good for the library advisory board, I wholeheartedly ask for your help in finding a great replacement for that. Yeah.
Can we contact the last group, letting them know that there's funding to,
We have done that before. We definitely could do that again.
can't be, good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, and the last, at the,
We had a lot of strong candidates.
you did have a lot of strong candidates too.
Katie's has to be a student.
Right.
So Katie's has to be a student, which I don't know how many students we had. Did we have any other students?
Me.
Great, it was Katie.
The first time that I applied, it was me and two other people. And
Okay,
the second time was just me.
okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Okay.
I don't know if it would make-
Yeah, but we can definitely let the people know
He's my-
before. Yeah,
Great.
I know we ask these questions whenever this types of questions, whenever this comes up, but is there an opportunity in the future, or if there's an opportunity in the future specifically with the student role to align it with the school year? So that it's
Mhm.
pointed on a slightly different cycle from the others? I don't know if that's possible, but
I would love that.
it would be lovely.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I feel really, really fortunate about the student commissioners that I've been able to be on the board with, and
Right.
I know that the last few months of your senior year, you've got a lot going on, but we can hold on to our student commissioners and then send them off with celebration as they
Yeah.
graduate, assuming that they are seniors. It would be kind of lovely.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
It would be nice to do it that way.
It's hard to say goodbye. In some.
So we've only had student commissioners recently. So it's only the ones you know are the only ones that we've had. So we've been extremely fortunate to have just really wonderful people in those positions. So,
Brooklyn.
Nope.
Okay, cool.
just you and Claire.
Lovely.
It's a high bar.
We're the pioneers.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm hiding. I feel like for a thing, and then I was like, might as well.
It's great. I really appreciate the student perspective. I think that's important on the library advisory board. All right.
That's good. Next meeting,
Next meeting is September. So no meeting in July, no meeting in August. And let me get the date for September. And Julia said she will be here in person. So September 19th.
oh wow, we don't meet July or August.
Yeah,
Whoa, you guys.
I know
Oh,
it is.
Whoa, what's the first?
I can, I might send you some updates on emails. Just remember that, of course, you can't have a discussion on email because, public meeting law. But I might just email you some updates in the next 2 months of things that are going on too. So,
That would be.
you can always read those and then respond to me directly or come in and talk to me if you have any questions. Bring me your children to see. Like that.
Typically, if you do already gather the library narratives, just like, I don't want to.
Oh,
create extra work
yes.
this month, but if
Yes.
You feel like sending those along, they are
Ye-
such an awesome thing to read. so.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, there's
Makes
such a
it
bright
really-
spot. Yeah. Really, it's been really good for staff too, just to read through and see, you know what, this is how we make a difference in people's lives. And it's really joyful for me to read this about. I mean, the kid stories are usually the best because they're just so cute and funny, but also it means so much to us when people come and tell us, hey, I got that job that you helped me apply for. Like,
Oh,
those things make a big difference in people's lives. So it is a joy to be part of that too. And good for us to remember at times when it's hard, like this last month, but good things are happening.
Great.
That's all I've got.
Story time, pat time.
So let's see, baby tot time, I will be doing on Tuesday at 10:15. And then
there.
Will Worthy will be doing, I
Oh,
know,
yes.
family
Yes.
story time at 11:15 that day. And then the following
fun.
week, I will be doing both baby tot time and family story time
That's
Wait,
on Tuesdays.
on
Okay.
Tuesdays.
Okay.
And then Wednesdays, there's a story play and a bilingual story time. And I do not remember the times on those ones. Sorry about that.
Well, Natalie's almost walking all the time now, so she's ready,
That's amazing.
as long as she doesn't, then the screeching all of a sudden.
Well, I'll tell you, I haven't done a story time in probably 3 years. So I'm excited and maybe a little nervous.
Are bubbles involved?
Bubbles are very much involved. That is how we end story time. Yeah.
Okay, well, great. Thank you, everyone. Great meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.